You are listening to a Pleasure Podcast. For more from our Sex Podcast Collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Hello, and welcome back to the Horny Housewife podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. I just want to say before I forget, if you're interested in my little hormone journey, I'm going to go super in depth on my Patreon and just started. So if you're new here, it's just starting. Basically, went over some she just froze. Labs done. I literally just glitched and stopped. That were done a month ago. And she ordered labs for me to check a few other things, including my testosterone, which I didn't know. Testosterone is not on a primary care, physical, basic, routine lab work. So when you're asking how does it all look? And you get your results back and they all land in the green. They're like, yep, you're good. Everything looks good, normal. And you're like, but I don't feel like normal necessarily. Not bad, but not at my best. And it seems like there's a great chance it's hormone related. And I'm very I feel like I am in tune of knowing what's going on in my body. I knew I was pregnant at 4 weeks. I'm in tune. Or maybe just lucky, but I think I'm in tune. I'm going to keep saying that I'm in tune. So doing an oral progesterone, she talked about why the creams are bunko wacko. I know. Why pellets, and in her opinion. And testosterone creams, yay. Progesterone creams, nay. Oral progesterone, and all the things. So I'm going to do a little hormone series over there. And it'll be every 4 months you'll get an update, because I go every 3 months. So every 3 months you'll get an update. But okay, done with that. That's the Patreon. There's audio erotica. There's quickies. I just uploaded a new quickie and a new audio erotica. I think there was 2 audio eroticas last week. So we're starting off with the bang. If you're interested in that, thehornyhousewifepodcast.com, or click the link in the description below. Okay, before we dive into listener questions and what I want to talk about today, which is opposite sex friendships and emotional affairs. And I know I've shared my stance on opposite sex friendships, but what does healthy opposite sex friendships look like? Wait, you think that those are real? Do you have a friend that's a guy? No, I don't. I know none. But let's define, because we all have different social lives, whatever. That's because I need a social life more, because I need more of a social life. And if I did, then what does a healthy friendship look like? And obviously, spoiler alert, other couples who value similar things that you do. But what is the difference between that and flirting with, being emotionally indulgent, is that the right word? And participating, warning, emotional affair. Maybe you have a relationship, someone's coming to your mind that, no judgment, I'm kind of judging, but who gives a fuck? Because I can't see you. What does that look like? Maybe you're experiencing a relationship that you're feeling maybe I am crossing the line, but they're my good friend. I don't mean any harm. We're just that. We're just close. Take the information for what it is and see how it sits with you, okay? Maybe I'll be checking your ass. Maybe it'll make you have some questions, some conversations to be had. Or maybe you're just like me and think this shit's juicy and you like being in the know because you know what the fuck is up and it's fun to talk about. So stay tuned for that. But of course, first, listener questions. And before we start with the listener questions, I wanted to talk really quickly about labels. Now, this could be a whole ass rant. I'm going to be intentional here because I could go a number of ways why it can be helpful, why people like them. I'm assuming people like labels because it's a sense of belonging, a sense of understanding oneself or the group better. You see today how many labels there are, right? And I feel about it. I was talking to my therapist about this briefly, and it's like I can know things about myself, like I'm ADHD, right? But like that label doesn't define my whole life, right? It's a piece of me. So I think there are a lot of labels. And again, why I'm bringing this up is because I think it's social media like pushes more on us. I don't know what your algorithm is. We're like, we can tell you have an overthinking algorithm, but it just seems like today. And I feel like I can't imagine what I really have to watch my mouth. I'm not even going to say it. I'll get in huge trouble. A certain type of person's algorithm is a Karen. Let's just say a fucking Karen of like, because I'm a victim personality, that there's like something wrong with me. There's all these different labels for like what I'm experiencing, that like, that's what I have. Sorry, I'm like being condescending about it. But sometimes I'm just like, big eye roll. And why I'm talking about it now is because I think that they can do harm to ourselves and like our psyche and how we view ourselves. The power of words, right? The power of your internal dialogue. The power of the narratives that you have about yourself and others and your experience. The power of perspective. And when people that believe in the law of attraction, the law of assumption, manifesting, they tend to keep in the forefront, and it's very easy to get an autopilot and have to check yourself. But the point is to speak something into existence, right? And you don't want to claim something over your life that is unfortunate. I understand not wanting to be delusional, right? Like if someone's in an abusive relationship, like, let me will it to not be abusive, like that's toxic. That would be toxic positivity. That would be delusional and in denial, and not in like a delusional way that serves you, right? I think there is like optimistic delusion that can be like really powerful and can be controversial, especially when it comes to like spending money you don't necessarily have. That, and I love that conversation as well. But there are some times when delusion can serve you. And there's sometimes when it can like really mess shit up. And so all this to say, be mindful of like the labels you partake in and what you're listening to and consuming online. Are you watching a lot of stuff that isn't demonstrating the life that you want? Is people that hate women, that hate men, that are anti-family? Like, are you watching what aligns with your values? I know it's easy to watch the train crash, but then when you're getting served all the train crashes all the time, I promise you it's impacting you in ways that would surprise you. But landing the plane on labels, when we say these things about ourselves, or we find solace in like maybe something that feels flawed in us or wrong, if you're watching, I'm doing the air quotes, with us, or something that makes us feel like connected in a way of something that like I'm not alone in something, make sure it's not something that like, okay, if I'm labeling myself, now you're leaning in. Like you are leaning in. Like you are putting yourself under an umbrella. So is it an umbrella you want to be under, standing next to fellow people under said umbrella? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? If so, you're in the right place. I have found my tribe. If not, try one more time. And if you're like, okay. Maybe you have a follow-up question, but you're like, you're here. Then perfect. And if that just absolutely not, you just spoke a different language, then maybe it's not your jam. But keep listening. Let's still keep listening. If you do like this show, please leave me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. You can leave a rating on Spotify as well. You can watch the show on Spotify and you can watch the show on YouTube. So even if you don't watch on YouTube, do me a solid. I would love if you could just subscribe. If you can do one thing over there, just subscribe. If you can click the notification bell and all the things, whether you watch or not, that would mean so much to me. So if you want to write in listener questions, which we're about to kick off, go to thehornyhousewifepodcast.com. You'll find the Patreon there too. You can submit a listener question truly anonymously. And if you want, you can also slide in my DMs at THHpod. I always protect your anonymity regardless. So let's get to it. I don't know about you, but when I'm learning something new, I don't want to just be told how to do it. That helps. That's great. That's wonderful. Sometimes it's my only option, but I would love to see a demonstration. And what is not a good, helpful teacher? Class, porn, topic for another time, but you know how I feel if you're an OG around here. What is a fabulous resource that shows and demonstrates what we're learning, X, Y, and Z, how to do this. And then they're going to show me Beducated AF over here, BEDUCATED, get educated in the bedroom. And it's like the Netflix of sexual wellness, if you will, okay? So it's an online course platform. There's over 150 expert taught courses, and there's anything and everything vanilla to super spicy, partnered, solo, add a third, whatever. There's everything, okay? And I'm getting the visual along with the lesson. It's sexy. It's fun. It's so much fun. And it just opens the door to so many conversations, to so many adventures. You'll find out things maybe you didn't think you'd be interested in, but now you watch that course and you're like, actually, what a safe, wonderful space. The resource of all resources. You must check it out. With my code Jordan, JORDYN, you will save 50% on your yearly pass. So this new year, prioritize the stuff that really matters, what you actually want to get better. Level up in the bedroom by subscribing to Beducated. And again, my code is going to get you 50% off the yearly pass. Click the link in the episode notes below. The more you know, the more you know, the more you know. Did you know, guys, fact of the day, did you know that when a man has a large load size, the muscles are actually working harder to ejaculate, and as a result, you have a stronger, more pleasurable orgasm? So get that pop star Dioc. It is not only enhancing the taste, making your semen taste sweeter, more appealing. Ding, 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 ding. Do it for the ladies. Be thoughtful. I want my wife to swallow. Why won't she swallow? Because it tastes like shit, Ned. It tastes like shit. So we want to make it taste sweeter, bigger loads, better orgasm, and support overall semen health. Okay, my pop star. Oh, no. My sponsor, Popstar, first supplement designed by doctors to promote semen volume, enhance semen taste, and support semen health. Like I just said, it's healthy and doctor tested, safe to put in your body, vegan, non-GMO, fair trade, made in America, all natural product, and has a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of this is going to lead to better sex and more confidence in the bedroom, so get you some. Popstar is offering my listeners 20% off your order when you enter code HornyHousewife at popstarlabs.com/hornyhousewife, or just click the link in the episode notes below. Listener questions. Let's get started. Hi, Jordan. I tend to be a man who believes your past is a good indicator of your red flags, how you operate, etc. I've been with my wife for 5 years, and I remember meeting her. I knew she was the one. She was everything I had dreamed of, except maybe her past. I knew her in college. I knew she used to be a party girl. I knew she was promiscuous, I guess you could say. But she was single, and I get it. It was college, for Christ's sake. I get it. I know I'm coming off like a dick. I've been single. I've been promiscuous. I've paid for sex and done things I'm not proud of. Things I don't do today and have no issue not doing. One thing I hate admitting, but no, is true, is how insecure I feel knowing she's capable of acting like that. I listened to your podcast, and it sounds like you used to be carefree as well. Excuse me? Does this pose an issue in your marriage ever? I guess it's called retroactive jealousy or something, and it's also me not wanting to be naive. Okay, I think I got the question out of this. Okay. No? Okay, yes. Yes, it's you feeling insecure. Like, yes, I can totally validate just like wanting to know if like someone's ways, like women that marry like men who used to be fuckboys, like really promiscuous, use them and abuse them. Like you're like, is that still in you? Like, are you a retired, that kind of guy? Like, is that still in you? And I think it really comes down to how someone evolves, changes, and what they value, right? Because I think that like you can be living wrong. You can be living wrong. And then if someone starts changing, like they don't change anything, but they've given up being a dog, but they hang out with at the same places with the same people, doing the same habits, like okay, retired my ass, okay? A matter of time, tick-tock on the clock. Now, if someone changes the way they live, the way they show up, their habits, how they're showing up in life, who they're surrounding themselves with, etc., what they're putting in their body, and now they're no longer being promiscuous and they're being committed, like that has a different ending. Like that's growing up. That's evolving. That's growing, okay? So if that's the scenario, I mean, what does your marriage look like? Do you feel like she is one way, not around you? She's one way with you? If this is just you all in your head, then like, yeah, that's like not fair to you or her. And slightly a dick move as far as saying like, try to judge someone by their past, because you say, you used to make you, what the fuck does that mean? Just kidding. But yeah, you're right. You know, I definitely lived it up in like so many sense of the word. You know, I was single in my early 20s and liked to go out and dance, have a good time, and meet people and do things recreationally that I would not partake in at this day or time ever again. I'm sure would like instantly die. And I don't plan on ever doing that again. So it's like, yeah, people are capable of changing from their past. If I met the girl that I was at 25, I wouldn't be friends with her. We wouldn't have much in common. I might, look at her with love, like, live it up, girlfriend. You only live once. 24 is the perfect age to be being wildly irresponsible and, let's just be honest, self-destructive. And you will find your way, sweet love. Not everyone does, but I think I did. You will find your way. But I wouldn't be kicking it with her, because we don't have anything in common. So people change, people evolve. So don't label her. Don't keep her in a box. Okay, that's not fair. Are you hiring hookers? Are you paying for sex? You're like, no. It's a choice, right? She is a choice. Does that mean, I will say this. If Derek and I go to a concert, is Concert Jordan activated? Yeah. Am I doing the same fun recreational activities at the concert? No, I'm not. Because again, my body couldn't handle it. It doesn't want to handle it. But I'm going to have the grandest of times. I am going to let loose. I'm going to let my hair down. I'm going to dance like no one's watching. Okay? I might take a couple shots. I might raise the roof. And awesome. Perfect. You want to be yourself. You want to be your spunky self. Now, I'm not saying when you go out and let loose and like hire a hooker, but that's different, right? Like one is having fun, letting loose at the appropriate time and place. And it's rare and it's fun and it's special. And the other is like damaging. So let's not do that to you or her. And I understand like not wanting to feel naive, like, oh, I don't want to just be this like go along husband when meanwhile ... But you got to give her the benefit of the doubt. If she's never given you a reason to think something, then Don't think that. And I wonder, like, do you ever talk about this with her? Do you like share that, like, you always wonder, or is it just like passive aggressive little pokes and jokes? Because those suck. Those suck. What if she poked and joked about your past? Which, like, that's something I would so do. I'd be like, so are you going to like pay her respect or something? Now you want to get a hug or something? So I guess I'm no better than that. But listen to what I say. Don't do as I do. And to answer your question, no, does not. There's no, we don't have like the retroactive jealousy thing. Praise be. I mean, when I met my husband, like I literally was regularly around people he had like previously dated or hooked up with. And I just had YOLO. And thank God that was for a short period of time. But if I had to stay around that, could it have really got to me? Probably, let's be honest. But I didn't, thank God. Mommy hyped her man up and was like, you were meant to run the show, okay? So a good woman pushes her husband to be his fullest potential. And landing the plane, like ending question number 1, check yourself, like see, like, are you projecting in any way? Are you wondering this because maybe you're capable? And like, yeah, we're all capable. We're all capable of blowing our life up. We're 5 bad decisions away from like really fucking shit up. So I think, it's a choice. Like when I have bad mom-wife days where I just feel like, and you just think like, man, I used to just be so carefree. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like I would never, all those moments of being like litty titty, being like, these are the memories we're going to remember forever. Don't remember it. I don't remember it. I was going to remember it forever. Don't remember it. I remember saying that. I remember being like, I will never forget this moment. And I remember saying that. I remember a couple of those moments, but most of them I don't remember, okay? If you take a 2 milligram Xanax and drink, you're not going to remember. I don't know how I lived. I don't know how I lived through my 20s. I don't know. That was a lot. Maybe we should bleep that out. Bleep that out. You'll find out. Did you hear a bleep or not? Okay, moving on to question número 2. If you're new here, we usually do like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 questions. But when there's a topic of the hour, we keep it smaller. Would you get back with an ex who cheated on you? We were just like in the past today. I wanted to pick a husband and I wanted to pick a girl. Would you get back with an ex who cheated on you? Why or why not? And I don't know. This is a girl, but they've sent in before and it's always a different girl's name. So obviously it's not the person's real name. It's from Kayla, that's not her real name. Why or why not? Would I get back with someone who cheated on me? I have before, not my husband. No, murder, death. I have before. Every other guy I dated before. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because I can't recover psychologically. I can't recover. You're like, this explains a lot. Nope. I can never look at them the same unless I always cheated. Then I'm like, well, you didn't, so I don't want to stay, but I feel like I got one I can hit you with. And I was young. I was in my 20s, so it's like I don't even... Today, as a 36-year-old woman, I feel like I would see it in such a different perspective. Like I would look at it. I really think there are different reasons that like women cheat and men cheat, but we're all capable of just like being a dumb fuck and like cheating. And I was talking about a friend with that earlier today and being like, that is like why like me and my husband have absolutely no shame that we have certain boundaries in place to protect our marriage and like protect the atmosphere of our marriage, everything, and like who we surround ourselves with and etc. I think that's really, really important. You wanna hang around people who really want the same kind of marriage you want and practice that and are willing and and aligned with what you value. And more on that, obviously, that'll pair well with today's topic of the hour. But would I mean, if I could, I guess I woulda, because there were definitely men that I really, boys, we shouldn't call them men, that I really, really liked or like loved the way they loved me. That wasn't love, but I thought that was love. I guess it was like what love could look like being that age. I guess we like loved each other as best as we could. Oh man, now I want to call it love again. But I guess that like, does that definition change or like holds more weight or meaning? I don't know. Ooh, questions to reflect on. Some women can and some women can't. Obviously, we see that. And then there will be opinions of like, well, only a tolerant, codependent woman. Oh, I saw a TikTok. I don't know if I want to talk about it, about like the codependent, tolerant woman. But it felt like, yes, that exists where they stay in relationships they should not. But then according to who, and only she gets to decide that. And I think if you're bettering yourself, working on yourself, looking at your shadows, your wounds, at the person you are, and you choose to stay, that is like only their fucking business. And so when we just widely group it and just like man bash, it's just not fair. It's just not. Why do women get that so much more than men? And there are like also shitty women that passive ass men stay with that they shouldn't. So it goes both ways. There are men that have taken back their whore of a wife, and there have been women who have taken back a piece of shit of man who has been so disrespectful, so unloyal, so disingenuous, such a dumb fuck. You know, maybe all four, maybe two of the four. I don't know. Why didn't I give that many to the women? But it can go both ways. And they can both be pieces of shit. There can be like two poopy pants that like shouldn't be together because they're just toxic as fuck. But then you're like, oh my God, these two poopy pants might just be deserving of each other's poopy pantsness. So there's that. And again, none of my business. Unless they write in a listener question here. And in that case, welcome. But me, personally, no. No. I cannot, I shan't, I wa'n't, I can't. It's almost Valentine's Day, guys, so keep your ears perked. Let me tell you, I had a great experience. I am using my Iro Hatsuki Inami new toy that I got. Butchered the name, begins with a T, Tsuki, but silent T. It does the come hither motion. So chef's kiss, vibrates, the soft touch silicone is out of this world. And so that's their newest toy that I'm currently enjoying. You know, when you get something new, you just want to use it a lot. That's just like how I feel about it. Also, girls, I'm obsessed with their feminine wash. Truly, it's ranked very high among women in Japan. Japanese women love it. And I use it every shower. I've used it for 2 years. Like, it's my go-to. When I run out, I get another bottle. So if I committed to something like that, there's a reason. And the reason being is, A, I like the ingredients. It smells really, really, really good. I'm not putting the grocery store bullshit on me or up me. And I want to clean everything. The crevices, I want to do the Cardi B finger swirl. And I love it. Smells good. No irritation, no issues, never has been an issue. Light, gentle, foaming cleanser. I love it. And Iroha has tons of specials and sales. Limited, go check them out now. It's almost Valentine's Day, so like hop on that. This year they have 30% off a lot of their popular items. The intimate wash, the item cleaner, usually you can get that in like some sort of bundle. They have exclusive goodies that are only available online. So you definitely want to go to the link below, usstore.iroha.com. It's IROHA. Again, I'll put that down there. You can get the newest toy that I'm talking about that, God, it's so good. If you purchase that, you'll get the item cleanser 56% off. So They always have a sale, something good coming on. Don't forget to use my code housewife10 to save 10% on all of their toys and products. And so they know that I sent you. Go check it out, usstore.iroha.com. And it's time to take your self-pleasure and treat it like self-care because you deserve it. Let's talk about bonies, your boners, your nocturnal erections. Guys, are you having at least 3 nocturnal erections that are lasting around 30 minutes? That is the average, like 3 to 5, 30 minutes on a 1 to 10 firmness scale should be like 6 or higher. Did you know that? You should know that if you worry about ED or you're over 45 or you want to enjoy a lifetime of lovemaking. You're like, wait, what? So your personal data, like knowing that stuff, makes a giant difference in understanding the root cause of any penis things, okay? Your erections during sleep are your body's natural indicator of vascular, sexual, and hormonal health. So ignoring it or just like seeing symptoms, not understanding the root whatsoever and just putting a Band-Aid on it, or sweeping it under the rug and ignoring it. Meanwhile, there could be a major underlying health issue, heart disease, low testosterone, medication side effect, a relationship issue, whatever it may be. But you can't treat it or understand it unless you understand it and get to the root cause. So this is why I'm extremely excited to tell you about Tech Ring by FirmTech. It's the first FDA-registered, research-backed wearable ring that tracks erections during sleep and sex. It measures both firmness and duration, so men and their physicians receive objective, personable, and actionable data to aid in diagnosis and identify the correct course of treatment, all while intensifying sexual performance. Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. It's comfortable, reusable, and comes with an easy-to-use app designed to give you and your doctor accurate data that other things just can't provide. Medicine, the Band-Aid, the quick fix can't provide that. Additionally, research shows that rings can make the effects of pills even stronger, increasing erectile firmness and duration, plus intensifying climax. So let's take a layered approach. Let's get to the root of the issue. The bottom line is Tech Ring empowers you to understand your sexual health, spot early warning signs before they become harder to treat, and find the right long-term solution for your ED. Use my code HOUSEWIFE for 15% off myfirmtech.com/housewife. That's housewife at myfirmtech.com/housewife. And I will put that link in the episode notes below to make it so much easier. So go check it out. So emotional affairs, opposite sex friendships, and how obviously like one can lead to the other, and we don't have to necessarily tie the two things together, but you can see how like when I always say you don't water a friendship with the opposite sex is, I guess, because my personal perspective, I can't imagine what that would look like just in my stage of my life. So there's obviously other people who would have a different opinion than me, who have a different looking life than I do. And like, that's fine. Both things can be true. But for my truth is like, I couldn't imagine with the schedule I have, with what I do, with the season of life I'm in, having a friend who is also of the opposite sex. I'm barely fit in female friendships. Like I look forward to craft night and going to lunch with my son's friends' moms, like that's what I'm doing. I can't imagine having an opposite sex friendship. That's just not our style. I get friends, like couples friends. Yes. And like I mentioned earlier, and like you're going to hear me mention again, Those are important, like the ones you choose to surround yourself with. I think there's like the people that have the couples they've been friends with forever, like they've known her, like you've grown up together with these people, like that dynamic. I don't have that because I don't live where I grew up. But for a long time, I did live where I grew up, and like, you've known people for such a long time. So that's different, right? I mean, it can be. And you all always hear about like emotional affairs that happen with the longtime friend or the coworkers, right? Like people that you work closely with. So you develop a relationship of sorts. And obviously, if it's the opposite sex, it's a platonic one. So again, people are like, Jordan, well, I go to work and work in an office. So like I am friends with my coworkers in some capacity. See? So let's talk about like a healthy one and an unhealthy one. Okay, that's a good starting place that we'll start from. What does a healthy opposite friendship looks like? Key characteristics, if you will. Transparency and openness. You wouldn't have secrets, right? You wouldn't share something with them and be like, yeah, like, don't tell my husband, but like, I don't care if you think you're being like cheeky or it's like, oh my God, it's not that big of a deal. Or like, actually, it's rather inappropriate. And I would have a big fucking problem if my husband said to a woman with a vagina, don't tell my wife, but unless it's about a present or a plan or a surprise for me. So everything shared with that friend would also be shared with your spouse, that there would not be a discrepancy there, okay? Inclusion. Your spouse would always be welcome around. It wouldn't be like something super separate. If there was hanging out outside of work, like obviously you would want your spouse to be included, okay? Which leads to prioritization. The marriage and the spouse's feelings should always be number one, should always supersede that friend. That I don't care the longevity of knowing them. You chose to marry Brad, not Todd. So Todd had a terrible thing happen to him. So I forget what I named the husband. Forget him. No. Todd's wife or his girlfriend or another friend who doesn't have other priorities in their life, their husband, can be that person. Okay, that's not the wife's role, or if it was vice versa. There was a question on the Patreon on a couple quickies ago. A woman whose husband has a work wife. Oh, I wanted to fucking kill her. You should go hear me get real angry in that Patreon episode. And he goes over and like does like the honey-do list over there. She went and hung out with them so she could like feel more comfortable to meet these female coworkers. And she's like, yeah, all of the women he works with are older than him. Yeah, she's only a couple years older than him. She was all over him in front of her, hands on him, like, oh my God, I love you, stop, like killer shit. So, and it was like blatant disrespect. Anyhow, group settings, interaction should happen in a group setting rather than exclusively one-on-one. Like those are like respectful, thoughtful, intentional, protect my marriage boundaries for opposite sex friendships. What is a warning sign of an unhealthy dynamic of an opposite sex friendship? Be ready to call it out if this applies to you. I don't care. Secrecy, okay, hiding text calls, meetings, jealousy, inadequacy. If your spouse has a problem with this and it's just like, oh God, like he or she just like feels so insecure, like their insecurity is not my problem. Like I've been friends with him forever. I grew up with him. Who did you marry, bitch? Who did you want to marry? And like if we flip it, it's like if it was the husband, like abso-freaking-lutely not. Your wife does not like this. Your wife does not feel comfortable with this. This is starting fights between you. You are over my dead body. Are you going to pick her? Okay? Over my dead body. Like, I know my husband's employees make him money. And if it came down, and he would be so mad at me. He would be livid. It would be inappropriate. It would be out of line on my part. But if it was like something, because he wouldn't even hire someone who made me feel uncomfortable. But like, say something happened, like he may be begrudgingly doing it because if I was being insecure and kooky or whatever. But guess what? Guess who's going to win at the end of the day? Guess who he's going to pick where he's going to have peace? Right here at home. Right here at home. And that's what your husband and wife should be doing. The spouse should not feel uncomfortable or threatened. And even if it is coming from a root of insecurity, who are you there to grow and evolve and emotionally support? Your fucking spouse, okay? Romantic undertones. The friendship involves flirtation, inappropriate gift, romantic gestures over my dead body. Prioritizing the friend. So yeah, again, choosing their company over spouse time or thinking of the friend during marital intimacy, emotional affair, sharing your marital issues with them, deep emotional needs that you are going to them over your spouse. That is an emotional affair. And if you go, but Jordan, I don't feel safe going to my significant other. They're not a good bucket for that. They don't have the capacity. I don't give a fuck. Do you not have a girlfriend? Do you have a journal? Do you have a therapist? It's not an excuse because I've been able to ride through moments of not feeling seen or connected and not having needed a man or an external factor. Like I go to my best friend, my therapist, or my journal, you know what I mean? And I work through that with my husband. And that in turn makes our marriage stronger. So that's how you come through on the other side of things that don't feel good, seasons of disconnect, seasons of trials. You come out the other side when you choose the marriage. And choosing the marriage looks like not going to get my cup filled elsewhere or getting the instant gratification because I'm not getting what I need. Just like how I say, like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised when a woman cheats, when she's been emotionally starved and she's articulated what she needs. I'm not surprised. Did she have to do that? No, she didn't. Could she have chosen to show up in her marriage differently? And she could be fighting me. No, Jordan, I tried. There's other things you can do than be deceptive and be lying to yourself in some situation. Like, how's it going to end? Play the tape through. So it's like, unless you're committed to the double life, play the tape through. So like, why don't we just like saddle up for one of those paths, whether it be your marriage or dissolving your marriage, unless you're committed to the two lives thing for whatever. That sounds miserable. And some people are better at compartmentalizing than others. Again, if you are able to compartmentalize that easy, there's work to be done, my friend, because that stems from trauma. Okay? I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. So maybe you feel like y'all got the opposite sex friendship, maybe like no boundaries exist there, or it's a conversation you've had that hasn't gone anywhere. Maybe this is resonating with you. What could you do right now before you get to a point of no return or a point of just an absolute mess? Talk to your spouse, having an open, honest conversation, setting ground rules, having those boundaries, focus on your marriage, self-reflect. Like, what is it that you want? What in this friendship is meeting a need that your marriage isn't? And address that need within the marriage. Where is the disconnect? Why? Is it because you don't feel like they're a safe emotional dump bucket? Is it because you don't feel like you're speaking the same language? Is it because they've never asked? Is it because you're expecting them to be a mind reader? Is it because you just haven't been doing anything to be intentional about connecting? Is it because y'all are ships passing in the night? Like, figure out what's going on and what you need to do to move forward in any capacity. So, now, that kind of answers the why do emotional affairs happen? They can happen, and you commonly hear it about women. And I didn't finish my point. ADHD. How I said I understand, but it doesn't mean you have to do it when women do that because they're not getting X, Y, and Z. Just in the same way that when a man says, me and my wife haven't been physically intimate in 6 months, in a year, in 3 years, why my jaw stays directly intact when I find out that they're sleeping with their coworker, their secretary, someone they met on the internet, prostitutes, whatever it may be. I'm not surprised. Is it the right thing? No. Yeah, but am I not surprised? Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. So I can understand why it happens, but you won't convince me. It's harder. It's much harder. It's much harder. It's much harder. And I get sometimes just feeling like, well, life is too short. Like, it's hard. The blessings that come, the rewards, not just the reward to your marriage, to the relationship, because maybe that isn't. Maybe everyone has different factors, different circumstances. Maybe the communication, the conversation, and you find out like we're going to go our separate ways. The blessing that comes, in my opinion, that you chose to do the difficult thing and have the difficult conversation and really decide so you could commit authentically to something. Because I happen to believe secrets keep you sick, make you sick. Like truly, like do something to the body. Just my opinion. I know everything isn't everybody's business, but like when you're lying to yourself, okay? Anyways, I think the blessings of living authentically and showing up for yourself and the blessing that'll have on you as an individual or you on your relationship or both is so much more rewarding than that going with what felt right in the moment, going with that feeling, that fleeting feeling. Duh. I can't give away too much information, but I was talking with a friend about someone else's experience, and this is like a gazillion people's, but an emotional affair that happened at the workplace. And it's just like the people will believe the lie of like, I'm the exception, or like, we're the exception. And it's like, hello, read a book, like the oxytocin, the dopamine, the thing that's the new relationship energy, like the chances are it's not sustainable. Maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's 7 years, maybe it's 10 years. You're going to have a hard time convincing me that it doesn't happen again in some form or fashion, whether it's you or the other person. You lose them how you found her. Okay, last moment of defining emotional affair versus physical affair versus friendship. So the aspect of intimacy level, an emotional affair, deep emotional connection. The physical affair, they're fucking. The friendship, supportive, but not romantic. Secrecy, the aspect of secrecy, emotional affair, they're often hiding from the partner. Physical affair, usually secretive. Friendship, open and transparent. Aspect, the impact on the relationship. Emotional affair, it's going to erode trust and emotional intimacy and trickle and ripple. Physical affair breaks physical boundaries, devastates the marriage usually. Friendship strengthens social bonds. A healthy friendship dynamic within a marriage should strengthen social bonds. Now, last but not least, the aspect on romantic feelings, emotional affair, they're often present. Physical affair, they're always present. With a friendship, that should be absent. So if you feel a little trickle, that's why I was like, Steve Harvey said it on Family Feud. Is Steve Harvey controversial or something? I don't know. Is he now? Did something happen to him that I'm forgetting, or was that just Bill Cosby and I'm like being such a dumb bitch? But I swear Steve Harvey did something. I swear. Are they getting a divorce? Did something happen? Anyways, he said something, or maybe it was like I read a blind that he's like actually a dog. He would be. But something about, how dare we speak negatively about Steve Harvey when we don't even know? I'm so sorry. All alleged. But he said something that was great, that I loved, about like, yeah, fucking right. And especially like attractive opposite sex friendships. He was like, absolutely not. What? Like, imagine working side by side by someone that you really love their personality, find them sexy as hell. Like, you're telling me your human nature mind didn't have a flutter? Didn't have a flutter? Like, you had to reject that flutter. And so that is where boundaries come in. Some people could go, oh my God, you're being so insane. It's like, obviously I'm being insane. I'm just kidding. I'm being a realist. So you got to be realistic with yourself, because a lot of times it starts off as an innocent friendship and then emotional bonding begins. I know there are some people that have like really no control over their work and peer environment, but you can have like individual boundaries that you exercise. I get you can't get reassigned maybe, or you're on the same project, or you travel, but it's like, no, you don't have to go to the bar with them after that meeting. No, you don't have to, you and him go get lunch together. You know what I mean? There's boundaries. Okay, after emotional bonding begins, usually secrecy and prioritization. Now you're deleting messages. You're avoiding conversations about that person with your spouse. You would rather talk to them over your spouse. You feel randomly kind of like irritable and distant in your relationship. If you question the need to hide something from your partner, consider why you might feel that way. If you are feeling emotional distance, try to solve that so you can prevent this massive emotional betrayal. Next thing that would happen, they say there's 7 stages in an emotional affair, if you didn't catch on to what we're doing. Emotional withdrawal from your partner. Spend less time talking to your partner. The conversation all feels forced and distant, and you find yourself comparing your partner to the other partner and see their flaws. Now, there are some people who can be really, really separate with that, and I want to diagnose them with a personality disorder. But there are a lot of people who would be more like this, where it's like spaghetti and all connected. And if they're feeling connected there and attracted there and excited there, it's all been sucked out of the marriage. So that's why you get a lot of people saying, hey, when they see this change happening, that's when people's little antennas go up. And then they're like, my gut was right. My gut was right. So you think you're being cool and sneaky, you're probably not. And then if you're really, really good at faking it, then again, I want to diagnose you with a personality disorder. Rationalization and justification. You are rationalizing this emotional connection. You are defending it. When asked questions that reveal cheating, you believe your partner is the reason. Well, if they did this and this, then I wouldn't even be in this situation. Well, if I was fed and nurtured and my cup was filled here, then I wouldn't be longing and seeking and doing that. Guess what? You're a grown ass fucking adult. You can pick right and wrong. So you make your bed and you lie in it. Stage 6, emotional climax, the emotional affair, full swing, baby, full swing. Just side citation, Sanjo Counseling is where I am getting the 7 stages. I want to not take credit. I didn't write these out. I am passing this message along. Okay, emotional climax, it's in full swing. The connection feels powerful, intoxicating. It's providing fulfillment far more than your marriage is. You may be fantasizing what a future would look like with this other person. You're confiding in them. That is where that's what you're watering. And some people are getting physical, fantasizing about physical, or not, but probably diddling their skittle just because they can. You feel emotionally dependent on them, and you start to question your own marriage, which I said that. So stage 7 is when people get to a decision point. So, for instance, they may go to their spouse and go, guess what? I've been cheating, or I have feelings for someone. And guess what? It didn't happen overnight. 6 motherfucking stages happened, okay? And that person allowed it. They did not turn inward. They did not turn into their marriage. They turned outside of it. And now you must deal with the consequences. If you think stage 7 is just never coming, you are in denial. It will come at some point in some form or fashion, and you will not convince me otherwise that if it does not get brought up, if there is no boil over discovery moment, it's because your spouse deep down kind of knows and doesn't care to know anymore. They're literally like turning a cheek, a blind eye to it, probably because they're doing the same thing. And a lot of times the other person's like, no, like they would never know, like, no. Yeah. So there's that. Now, before I send you on your way feeling like a sack of shit, just kidding, I wanted to, share my thoughts on why men have emotional affairs, why women have emotional affairs. And it's not even fair, to say why, because you can relate to some of the things I say what women do that kind of push men away. There are things you do that push your husband away that annoy the shit out of your husband. And that doesn't mean well, guess what? They're going to go have an emotional affair because you do that. It's there are good people, good men and good women who will work on navigating that or going, hey, this doesn't feel good for me. Hey, I don't feel like I can win. I feel like I'm just losing. Talking about that, having a moment together about that instead of just feeling feel like I'm always losing, but you're not expressing that to them. And you've got this little sick cycle. And then husband's got girls at work that make him feel real good and real seen and real doing it right and succeeding and winning there. And he's feeling like he's winning there, but he feels like he's losing here. And it's it's easy for that friendship and then that connection. And then it's not happening here. And see where that snowball's going? Just for women, they may work with or be around someone who notices how hard she's trying to do something or what she does or the effort she puts in or how she shows up. I'm thinking of the movie Jingle All the Way, this douchebag neighbor who's always hitting on the mom, and she wasn't giving him the time of day, but he was trying. He was trying to reel her in and always just acknowledging her and what she does and what a great cook she is, and her husband's never home to appreciate her, and how much he would appreciate a woman like that, and blah, 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 blah. She wasn't biting, but seeing how a woman in that position, how they can get caught up in a bad situation because they feel so-and-so connects with them on a deep level. So-and-so sees them. They're feeling seen, and they're not feeling seen at home. They're not feeling pursued at home or dated at home or their husband gives a fuck about talking about X, Y, and Z, and they're just missing the mark. And so, you see where I'm going? And that outcome doesn't have to be the outcome. That is being a statistic, and that everyone that listens to this podcast, I feel like if you're here and you stick around, you are the kind of person who is not wanting to be a statistic. You don't want a mediocre, subpar marriage. You want something that is fulfilling. You want something that's rewarding. You want a sex life that you can write home about. You want your marriage and you want it to be fun and awesome. And it's not always going to feel awesome. It's going to feel hard sometimes, and it's going to feel shitty sometimes, and it's going to feel confusing sometimes, but you're committed. You're committed to that ride, and you want the tools and the knowledge and the resources to ride through. So that is who listens to the Horny Outside podcast. But we're talking about the human experience here, so no judgment. I know sometimes I call people pieces of shit, bad behavior. we're all human. We're all human and we do human things, and all it boils down to is you and your partner and you two navigating it, and not what anybody else thinks except that person there doing it with you. So smile. It's okay. It's all right. Leave me 5 stars on Apple Podcast. Write a review if you like the show. It really, really helps me. Make sure you're subscribed and following the show. So many people aren't. And it's like they just like look up or they click the show because it's saved in their recent list. Make sure you're following. That little check is clicked on the right hand top of the screen on Apple Podcast. Leave a rating on Spotify, follow on social media. All the links, all the things will be in the episode notes below. And see you next Monday.